Hello everyone, today we are going to do a short video on a couple of tips when you start to use your Lean Ascent. Wearing tennis shoes so that you can see a little bit better how to position your feet. So we are going to cover the angle to get started, the foot loops, a couple of tips on using your rope, and I think that should be it for today. So before I get started, the tip number one for you is that don't start using the platform for your first time when you go hunting. Whether it is a Lean Ascent or any kind of equipment, we highly recommend you practice at home, get familiar with it, start using it at the ground level to make yourself comfortable with the different steps. Try to start building your routine, because that's going to be very important when you are going to be hunting in the dark. So please don't start by going hunting with something you don't know how to use. Practice at home, during daylight, not too high, get comfortable, and that's going to make your hunt much more comfortable and easier. So the first tip I would like to share with you is to leverage your tether and your ropeman or conduct, so that when you are going to manipulate your platform and be on your platform, you don't need to put all your weight on your knees. If you adjust that properly, you can distribute your weight between your rope and your knees. So for instance, once you are going to be on your platform, like climbing on the platform, use your rope to get on it, much easier. And when you want to go down on the platform, like this, right now I have all the weight on my knees. So instead of doing this, adjust your rope a little bit, so that now, as you can see, I'm sitting in my saddle. I have removed a lot of weight from my knees and I'm very comfortable. So I might be a little bit too high, might adjust by 1 inch or 2. And now it's very easy for me to manipulate the post or whatever I want to do. So very important tip, make sure you leverage, your ascender to be able to remove weight from your legs when you need to go down or whatever you have to do on the platform. Same thing when you want to stand up, instead of pushing on your leg, you can also pull on your arm, and that makes it so much easier. So when you are going to position your platform, as you know, we have this bolt in the middle that can adjust the pitch of the platform. So you don't have to worry too much, like with a climber where you are going to start with some kind of angle like that. You can start flat or just a little bit upwards. That would be good enough. And as you climb up, in the worst case scenario, if you get to your position, your hunting position with the platform a little bit like this, you will be able to readjust by placing your adjustment ball properly on your strap and basically flatten your platform angle. So it's not a big deal with the Lean Ascent to start flat or a little bit upwards. You don't need to make it super complicated where you start like this, where it's just in a very, very complicated fashion. Make it comfortable, start flat, maybe a little bit upwards. So the other thing I wanted to share with you is the foot loop. So the foot loop, this knot right here is a knot that's very convenient because it's really lightweight. It's not a piece of hardware that's going to break. It's easy to replace, and it allows you to adjust the size of the loop. So if you pull on those string right here, you are going to make it bigger. And if you pull on the tag end, you are going to make it shorter. When the platform is new, sometimes that knot can get a little loose. You want to make sure this piece is tight, because otherwise you are not going to have good control of the platform for your first 1 or 2 usage. So that's important. If you feel like the knot is slipping, you can potentially lock it by just tying a double overhang knot like this. That way it's not going to move anymore. You can use it 2 or 3 times, and after 2 or 3 usage, that knot is going to be tight and it's not going to go anywhere, but still allowing you to make adjustments, depending on the season and what size of boot you are using. So what is a good position for the knot? It probably depends on your own usage. Personally, I like to be able to put my fingers between my foot and the rope. If I have the knot like this, I feel it's very easy to get my foot in, like that, and I'm going to have very good control of the platform. So everybody's different, but we don't feel you need to get it super tight, because you want to be able to put your feet in and out fairly easily. So that will be too tight for me, and something like this is going to be about right, where I can put my fingers in between. So once you have that done, and again, if you decide to set the loop in a position where it's not going to move anymore, especially at the beginning, the more you lift your toe up, the more control you are going to have on the platform. It's the same principle as the lineman's belt. If you put a lot of weight in front and get really close to the trunk, the platform might tip, even with the new stable system we have on the Select. If you want to have a really good control of your platform, you want to lift your toe up, and that way, as you can see, everything is tight and you will be able to maneuver it very easily. Okay, so we touched a couple of things. Number one, practice at home before you go hunting. Number two, we showed you about the foot loop and the angle to get started. So now I'm going to climb on the platform to show you how I do it. Another thing I want to share before I get on the platform is that little piece right here. So this is a unique piece of hardware. The reason why we design it with a rotation like this is to make sure that you can be very comfortable when you are climbing. If you climb with your tree bracket in that position, potentially you are going to injure your ankles. And that's why I'm wearing tennis shoes today, to kind of show it, but you can see that, you know, your ankles might be in contact. So when you climb, you want to rotate it 90 degrees, so then it's out of the way. And when you'll be ready to set up the platform, you are going to rotate it and get it to the tree. So here is how I climb on the platform. So remember, I use a rope to make it easy to get on. I set up the platform a little bit up, but not too much, and in a position where it's very easy for me to put my foot on the platform and put pressure on it. And as you have seen, I use a loop where it's kind of tight, but not super tight. So it's easy for me to put my boots in the platform. Once I'm there, I climb on it like this. I'm going to lift my toe a little bit, and I'm going to adjust my tether to put it as high as I can. So then I'm going to be ready to climb. Once I'm there, I'm going to knee and put my second foot into the foot loop, like this. As you can see, I have some weight on my rope, so then I have not too much on my legs. And once I'm there, I'm going to be ready to climb, so I'm going to remove the slack and put everything in tension. I'm going to lift my toe up to get better control when I climb. The other thing, when you get started, you want to climb with your knees spread around the trunk. If you climb like this, you are going to be limited. So as you will see, every time we climb, we open our legs, and that's how we move the platform. So as you see, I'm going to get also my hand on the trunk, that gives me better control. And now I am moving the platform up, just like this. And every time I'm going to get on the platform, I'm going to lift my toe to make sure I put more weight on the outside of the platform, so that it bites even better. Very similar principle as a lineman's belt. The closer you are to the trunk, the less safety you have, because everything is straight with the gravity going down. The more you are away from the trunk, you have this triangle, and basically you push the platform into the trunk. So that's going to make it much more stable and biting more. And when I'm going to go down, I'm going to do the same things the other way around. So same thing, using my ascender and then my arm on the trunk and pushing the platform down. And as you can see, when you lift your tool up, you really have good control of the platform. So you don't need those foot loops to be super tight, but every time you want to be on the platform, you want to put your weight on the outside as much as you can. That's going to push it to the trunk. Other than that, you can really use the gravity, and if you lift your tool up, you keep great control of the platform. Just like that. That's why we recommend for you to practice at home, to make sure that you get all those subtleties before you go out hunting. So, the last thing we are going to do is how you cam the platform. So once I'm going to be ready to hunt, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to cam the platform. So I'm going to leave the post up, and the beauty of the Lean Ascent is to have this adjustable bolt so that you can adjust the pitch of the platform. So when you are going to set the platform, you want to make sure that you have contact with your tree bracket on the trunk, and you want to make sure that this bolt here is going to be in contact with the post as well. That's going to make the platform more stable, especially if you don't use a ring of step. So once you have the post up adjusted the way you want it, you are going to put the strap around the trunk over the cable. You can tighten it, you don't need to tighten it too much, because then you will need to cam the platform. So to cam the platform, what you do is that you stand up, you remove the slack, and then you are going to take 1 foot off the foot loop, so you keep one in and one out. The reason to do that is to make sure you can keep control of the platform, and then you will be able to use your other foot to lift it up. So again, I like to use my hands on the trunk, and then I'm going to leave the platform and push it down. Like this, push it down. Don't need to push it like crazy. Like this is enough. If you have good contact with the adjustment bolt, all you have to do now is to step on it. And now this platform is cammed and super stable. So in case that for whatever reason you don't get the stability you want, it's probably because that piece is not in good contact. So if that happens, you want to make sure that you tighten it to have good contact with the post, and potentially you will need to cam it again, and that should give you very good stability. You know, sometimes the bark is moving, the trunk might not be completely straight, so being able to adjust the bolt will give you the adjustment you need. Okay, so hopefully those tips are going to be useful, especially for the new Lean Ascent users. Congratulations to Melissa for sharing a hunt recently and contacting us to get some advice during the hunt. We are glad we are able to help, and we hope this video is going to help additional people. So once I'm going to get down from the Lean Ascent, same thing, I'm going to use a rope so that I don't put too much on my legs. So I'm going to put some slack on the rope, still holding it, and now I'm just going to go down using the rope, and that's also going to make it much more silent in terms of operation. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We're always happy to help. Cannot always do it when you are hunting, but when we can, it's a pleasure to do it.